What's up, Shady Sports Network? I'm back here with a very special guest tonight. You might see I'm in a different setup. I'm at my dad's house tonight, so a little bit different than my usual, but we're back. We're ready to go. I'm here with my guest, Vaughn Van Dame. Vaughn, how you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just getting done with my day. Just got out of meetings with the kids, so just grinding, man. That's about it.
Yes, sir. You already know. So, take me back to your high school career. We'll start there, where you grew up, and talk a little bit about your childhood.
So I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Kind of a rough little city to say the least. A lot going on, a lot of crime and drugs and stuff like that. But played football growing up there. Didn't really see a lot of people get to make it as far as playing football, like next level and stuff like that. So, that was always something I wanted to do. Granted I didn't have great grades growing up. Ended up going to junior college in Arizona. And then came out to Kansas actually and went to a school right outside Wichita called Southwestern. Ended up finishing up there, playing football, running track, before I got into the arena thing. So it's been kind of a journey, but yeah, grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, man. Not a lot going on there. So, for me to even make it as far as I did with football, coming from where I'm from is definitely, a pretty big deal. So like people from Texas or Florida, like I would just be another guy, but where I'm from, it was definitely a success to even, have the opportunity to get paid to play football professionally at any level. So definitely happy about that and proud of that.
For sure. So you talk about going to JUCO. How do you stay ahead of the curve academically and dealing with everything you dealt with back home?
I mean, it was tough because I wasn't a good student growing up. And I think obviously that makes me a good junior college coach is that I've experienced it myself and I've been able to go through the process. But it was definitely hard for me academically when I first got to college, just because I wasn't a good student growing up. But I started to figure it out because I knew that I needed education and I knew I needed something like that to help with whatever I wanted to do after football and stuff like that. So I ended up kind of getting right and actually getting some pretty decent grades in college and ended up graduating with a 3.0 with my bachelor's degree. So we kind of turned it around, and that's what I kind of try and tell a lot of these kids that I work with is junior college is the hard part. You're in that transition, but you got to go to class, man. That's your only way out of here. So
Definitely. So you coach wide receivers at Garden City. Garden City is one of the premier JUCOs in the country. Honestly, you guys could probably beat a lot of D1 schools. Um, you talk about the level of receivers you coach. You have this receiver named Desmond Demas, who is
yeah.
potentially projected to be a first round pick in 2025. Talk a little bit about him and what do you expect and how excited you are to coach him.
Excited, man. But all in all, this whole entire room is very talented. So, you would come out here and you would see them all running around and be like, there's a bunch of D1 receivers in this group. But Damon's special, man. He just got here a couple weeks ago, so he was part of the late start group. So we've been in spring ball, probably on practice 9 now. Been seeing a lot of good things from him. Obviously, the freak athleticism and stuff like that, but even the group as a whole, it's definitely gonna elevate the group. But we got a lot of eyes on us this year, so I've been telling these guys, man, like if you go to class, you get the grades, and we do what we're supposed to do on the field, you guys will all have opportunity to probably go Division 1. So that's something I've been preaching. But Damon is definitely special, man. I mean, he jumped over me the other day at practice. I was just walking, and then this dude just runs up behind me and jumps over me. So he's definitely got some freak athleticism for sure. Definitely elite level.
Sure. So, how do you feel the team is looking this year? How the quarterbacks looking, and how do you guys think you have a chance at winning a national championship?
We look pretty good, man. Obviously, at this level, it's a lot more to it. It's the discipline and some of those things I've been trying to instill in the whole team in the weight room because I do the training as well. So, just trying to build the chemistry in there, build the momentum, getting guys bought in. Obviously, at this level is tough because a lot of guys are here just for themselves. But we looking pretty good. I think on paper we look really good, but obviously that's just on paper, and you obviously got to go out there and prove it. But I'm thinking definitely this year we'll have a chance at getting to the national championship. Obviously, we just got to take the steps to get there and attack every week like it's a championship week because obviously. you can't lose too many games to try and make it to the national championship and get in that Final Four. So, we plan to do what we got to do to make it there, and we kind of an all-in mentality on that as far as getting there. So the quarterbacks look good though. We got two good ones here right now. Looking to get another one, but we got a bounce back from South Carolina who's pretty good. He can sling it, and then we got another kid from Logan, Utah, who redshirted for us last year, but he's grown up a lot this last year. So we got two good ones, and probably gonna get another one in here that can compete for the job.
Definitely, definitely. So, Juco football is a grind. Every 5 a.m. practices. You don't have the facility that D1 schools do. So, talk about like take me through your day-to-day routine. What is that looking like?
So for me, just being a strength and conditioning coach, right now in the spring, I'm waking up about 4 a.m. Um, you know, first alarm goes off at 4. I probably don't get up till about 4:20, but get over to the facility about 4:30, 4:45, in between there sometime. First group's coming in at 5 to lift, so we get in there pretty early, get it out the way, so I have a 5 o'clock group and then a 6 o'clock group. And then I'll actually have some other sports after that I train throughout the morning, which I kind of set the schedule that way. And then, obviously in the morning and early afternoon, doing busy work in the office, recruiting, whatever we got to do, breaking down film right now because we're in spring ball, typing up notes for the receivers, what they doing right, what they doing wrong, practice plans, just all sorts of busy work, man. And it never really stops. Obviously, staying on top of the kids' grades and what they need to be doing to get out of here. You're always on your toes. There's always something going on. You never know what's going on in the dorms. You might get a call over there and got to go over there. But yeah, man, just busy all day with these kids, really. And then, obviously, when I was playing, it was wake up at 4, do all that all day, go to practice, and then I'd go to practice at night with the Storm from about 6 to 8, 6 to 8:30, eat team dinner with them, and then I would drive back from Dodge City to Garden City, which would keep me up till probably about 10, 10:30, and then I'd be up again at 4. So it was definitely a grind here these past few weeks, past month, and obviously still a grind getting up that early and doing my normal job. So I'm definitely busy, man, but just trying to create opportunity for these kids, and hopefully we can get it done this year, get close, and that's really the goal right now. So just grinding, man. That's it.
Definitely. So, as an aspiring coach myself, right? My teacher came around with a sheet and asked me what I wanted to be when I grow up. My dream job, and my dream job is actually to be a JUCO head coach because I really love, giving back to the kids and the idea of how you can change people's lives. Um, so you talked about this idea of changing lives and staying on top of kids. What makes a kid succeed versus what makes a kid that doesn't succeed? I know a lot of it has to do with the mindset part, but how do you really like? There's some kids that will take in information, and there's some people that would just like shut down.
I think this is going on my 5th year doing junior college in general. And I actually got the opportunity to be a junior college head coach in Arizona a couple years ago. But what the difference to me is a lot of things to these kids, and you hope they all listen, but at the end of the day, they're all not gonna listen to you. They might not know what your intentions are, but I always try and make sure the kids know my intentions are pure, and I'm just trying to help them. And I've been in their shoes before. Um, but I mean, you could some of the dudes just don't listen, man. I mean, I don't really know how else to say it than that. I give life lessons all the time. I give these speeches, and I try and stay on top of their grades. I have these conversations with them. You try the best you can. And I remember I had a coach that told me my first year coaching junior college, he said that, Vaughn, you're going to stress yourself out trying to save every kid. And I remember kind of looking at him like, well, I'm going to try, I'm at least going to try. But, now that I'm a little deeper into it, I kind of understand what he was saying is, if you expect all of them to succeed, you're going to always end up disappointed in the end. You just got to be happy with the ones that do listen, and the ones who didn't listen, at least you got to let them, live out their dream of being a college football player just a little bit longer. So that's kind of the positive I look at it on that side is, at least we got a kid maybe to get an associate's degree. At least we got a kid to maybe, play one more year of football and you know, stay on the right path, and maybe it catapult them to something else in life. So there's so many ways and so many paths these kids go on after this, but we just try and use it as a pivotal point in their life to point them in the right direction. That's really all you could hope for. But some listen, some don't, man. I mean, it's just you never know. And I'm dealing with some now that have been around me for a year and they're still doing the same stuff they were doing a year ago, and I'm just like, after this fall, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you're gonna end up back at home and not where you want to be. So, those are things that I stress, and I think sometimes the kids think I'm being hard on them, but it's really all love, man. So, just hope they can listen and figure it out.
Definitely. So you talk about yourself growing up in a tough environment, and a lot of these kids, like they come from, harder backgrounds. So how can you, like you yourself, do you go back home often? Like, do you go back to New Mexico often, or how do you keep that home environment and maybe some of that like toxicity out of your life, and you instilling these kids to do the same?
For me, when I left Albuquerque at 18 years old, it was a bad environment for me. I was getting in a lot of trouble. I was running with a lot of people I probably shouldn't have been running around with. So, when I left, I still haven't really been back like to live. I went back after college for about 3 or 4 months, and I was miserable just because I had so many bad memories in that environment. So I tell some of these kids, who got in trouble back home, like that might not be the best place for you. Just like Albuquerque wasn't the best place for me. I just it gives me bad vibes almost being back there just because of how much stuff I was doing there, bad stuff, getting into trouble and whatnot. So I think for some of these kids getting in a fresh environment and being around new people and having to adapt in a different environment is big for them, and that's how you grow. If you always go back to home and you're comfortable in one spot, one state, one city, you never really get to grow. So being out in Kansas, being out in Arizona, all these different places I've lived. I got to live in Boise, Idaho for 4 months playing arena football. Is getting around different people and learning some different stuff. So, for me, I try and tell these kids to stay out of those environments if they come from it. And, most of the time, those people in those environments don't really care to see you succeed. They want to bring you down to where they at. So that's something I kind of stress to them as well.
Definitely, 100%. That's really good advice. So, do you have any kids that you coached over the last 5 years that have moved on to professional leagues like the NFL, CFL, IFL, CIF?
I actually got my first kid. He just scored 2 touchdowns for the Tucson Sugar Skulls the other night. MJ Harris, real special kid. I had him my first year coaching junior college. And at that time he was an Arizona State bounce back, kind of going through a hard time, and got him on the field and really helped him out, and getting to see that for me the other night was pretty big. Like as a coach, and just seeing him live his dream and get to where he wanted to get, and still going. Obviously, I think he's got the potential to move up to the USFL, XFL, something like that. No doubt, maybe even NFL if he gets in front of the right people, because he always was that special. And getting to see him score 2 touchdowns against the Rattlers the other night was definitely a full circle moment. I'm like, man, I'm getting old, but it was like it's good to see them catch their dream, because we talked about it so many times before. So, that was pretty awesome for me. But, more to come, no doubt. I definitely have, a few from this group at Garden City, maybe last year's group to, make it to those levels, God willing. So I'm hoping to see more of that.
Definitely. So, my final question kind of here is, you see these arena leagues, right? The IFL, the CIF, and a lot of people compare it to Juco because of the struggle you have to go through with some of these organizations, with housing, food, travel, everything. What was your mindset when playing arena football, and do you recommend that you guys go to those leagues?
I think that arena football is the JUCO of professional football, and I've said that for years. So exact what you said is exactly true. But for guys and just the guys I've played with over the years, and even the guys I just played with recently, they're all chasing the dream. So any opportunity to live the dream and be inside the arena, be inside the walls, and get paid to do what you love, that's a great opportunity. Obviously, I think you hit some point where, you got to kind of pick and choose which avenue you want to go. But, I think CIF, IFL, all great opportunities for people to move on and chase their dream. And when I was playing in Idaho a few years back, we had Nappy Roots come and open up for us. They're kind of a famous band or rap group from back in the day. But one of the guys told us, he said, it doesn't matter what level you're at. He's like, you guys are living the dream. You're out there getting paid to do what you love. And, it always kind of stuck with me when he said that, because he was right. You're still getting opportunity to live the dream at the end of the day. So, those opportunities don't come too often. It don't last forever. So, those are the opportunities that you got to be grateful for and take advantage of when they here. Because, obviously time don't wait for nobody. We all getting older and older. So, while you can, I think it's a good opportunity for guys to, at least get some peace and chase their dream and get some closure, whatever.
Definitely 100%. So I want to thank you for your time tonight. And I want to leave our viewers with one last thing. A question for you is, we look at a lot of these kids, and mindset is the difference from not playing football in the NFL, right? It's all mindset. What advice would you give to a kid, and even the kids you coach now? How can you eliminate distractions and also put yourself in a position where understanding that the decisions you make now are going to determine the rest of your life?
The best thing I could say is believe in yourself. I mean, at the end of the day, so as man thinks he is, and that's biblical. But I definitely believe that how you think about yourself and how you view yourself as a player. Obviously the confidence comes from the work you put in as well. So what you're doing every day and how you're doing it all add up. So those days you're stacking, whether you're sitting around watching movies all day or you're catching passes and lifting weights and running and making sure you do what you're supposed to do, those good days add up and those bad days add up. So you'll be a product of those days eventually. So the good and the bad add up, and if you got too much bad, then you're probably not going to be very good. But if you got more good than the bad, then it'll even out.
Definitely. So I want to thank you for your time tonight. I appreciate you, coming on, and I wish you and Garden City the best of luck. And I hope to see you out on the field for the Storm this year again. So, um,
Appreciate you, man.
yes, sir. Keep grinding, man, and yeah, let's go, Garden City.
Appreciate you. Go Bronx Busters.